Hey guys, welcome to the Prep and Preacher channel. I'm Brother Tim. I'm so glad you're here and I hope God's truly blessed you. Hey, welcome to my kitchen. We're going to be doing another shelf-stable recipe. Going to be using some freeze-dried and some canned stuff and just using the available stuff that's in our pantry to have some good meals, guys. So this one's going to be a chickpea chicken curry. Got a little heat to it, so stay tuned. If you've ever made any type of curry, well, you know it takes a lot of different spices, and I'll walk through them. They'll be in the description down below, but all these are ground. We're going to use curry powder, allspice, nutmeg, cumin, and cayenne, also black pepper, smoked paprika. We'll also have our minced garlic and our minced onions. We'll be using a chicken base with it. Of course, we've got our chickpeas or our garbanzo beans. These are dried. Now, we'll have to soak them overnight, and I'll show you that. I'm also using some Honeyville dehydrated potato slices. These are about 12 years old. We're rotating out our stock. We also have tomato powder, the extra virgin olive oil that I pick up at Aldi's. It's great stuff. We have some freeze-dried chives to use at the end, and then we have 12-ounce can of chicken that we pick up at Sam's Club. So we got all our ingredients together. Let's soak our beans. Okay, I'm going to use 1 cup of dried. This is a half cup here. 1 cup of dried. All right. There we go. 1 cup of dried beans. Now, we're going to rinse these, wash them, and rinse them. Get it there. All right. Drain them out. Try to pick through just like you do with any kind of bean. You never know what's going to get in there. It could be a rock. All right. Now we'll double up, have 2 times the water versus 1 time the bean. That's all we do. We let that sit and soak for about 12 hours or overnight. Now that we've got our beans have soaked, as you can see, they've about tripled in size. We'll go ahead and drain them off. I'll rinse them again. Get us a good rinse on them. All right, let them drain. Now we're going to get our pot ready. We're going to start cooking. All right, now we got our pot. We're going to put our beans into our pot. All right, we're going to try to run about 2 times the water that the beans are. All right, you can measure them out. I just do it by eye. Now, I'm going to put it on the stove and bring it to a boil. We'll put them on here on a little bit, about a medium to a high heat. Get it to a boil. Once we got it to a boil, we'll let them simmer for about an hour to an hour and a half. Now, that gets them to the consistency I want. Now, if you don't have time for this, or maybe you don't have the fuel, now you can use canned chickpeas or garbanzo beans in place of the dried. I'm going from the pantry using all dried material. Now, while our beans are cooking, we're going to go ahead and mix up some of our stuff that we have to reconstitute, like our tomato powder. Okay, now what we're doing is we're substituting this tomato powder for about a 15-ounce can of diced tomatoes. Now, if you've got canned diced tomatoes, well, that's fantastic, and use them. But we're trying to use stuff that is shelf-stable, dehydrated, and freeze-dried. So we take about a 1/4 cup of the tomato powder, and then we'll add 3/4 cup of boiling hot water. There we go. Now, we'll mix that up. And it smells good. And just let this go ahead and reconstitute. You'll see, almost looks like tomato sauce there, doesn't it? Now the potatoes, like I said, these are Honeyville Farm that we bought probably right at 12 years ago. And they're diced potatoes, you know, like you'd use possibly for hash browns. They're a little bit different than the shredded, as you can see here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have 1 cup of those to rehydrate. That'll make about 2 cups is what we're needing for this recipe. And we're going to put enough boiling hot water on it to cover them. There we go, a little bit more. There you go. And let that set for about 15 minutes is what we'll do. Stir them up a little bit. Make sure they're all getting wet so they'll rehydrate well. And see, you can do all this prep work while your beans are cooking and have it ready to rock and roll. We also want to reconstitute our onions and our garlic. Now, for this recipe, I'm going to use 3 tablespoons of minced onion. And 1 tablespoon of the minced garlic, because I like my garlic. All right. Now we're going to do the same thing, just like we did with our potatoes, with our tomatoes. We're going to reconstitute it, just putting enough boiling water on it to cover, and let them swell up. They'll get about 3 times their size. There we go. All right. Now we're just going to stir them up a little bit. Oh man, love that smell. See, we're going to put these in the olive oil when we start cooking. I know a lot of people say drop them in the stew, but this gives a little more flavor to that olive oil when you're cooking it. All right, let them sit there and reconstitute. Now that we've heated up our oil, we're going to add in our garlic and onions. You ain't got to get in. There you go. Now, we're going to go ahead, start stirring them up, getting them coated good. Now, this won't take that long. Maybe a minute. You just want to get them fragrant there. Just work it in there. There you go. Yeah, just get them worked in. You don't want to burn them now. Now, if you're using fresh, it'd take you about a minute and a half, and maybe about 3 minutes. Get them translucent. But getting that flavor of that garlic oil. All right, now we're going to add the rest of it in there. There we go. All right. Stir it up. Get it good and coated. There we go. Turn that heat down just a tad. All right. Now we want to add our spices. Now, get that good and coated well. All right. There you go. Man, what a smell. Woo, I love curry. All right. Keep stirring it. Keep stirring it. Give me a little more heat there. All right. Now our potatoes. There we go. All right. Now coat them potatoes really good. All right. And these won't take as long to cook either because they've already, they were dehydrated. They've been rehydrated, so it won't take as long as it would with raw potatoes. Now you can use canned tomatoes, or potatoes here if you want to. All right, just get a good stir on it. All right, there we go, getting good and fragrant. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? Man, doesn't that look good? All right, stir it up a little bit more. There we go. Now we're going to add our garbanzo beans. All right, chickpeas, whatever you want to call them. Now our tomato. There we go. All right, now we're going to pour in our broth. There we go. Fantastic. Stir it all up. All right. Man, you could smell this. If we had smell-o-vision, it'd be great. Look at that. Look at that. All right. Now we're going to turn our heat down a tad. We're going to reach for a lid, get our lid on there. We're going to let this simmer for about 15 minutes. All right, we've been simmering for about 15 minutes. Oh yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but it's starting to look good, starting to thicken up now. All All right, now we're going to add our chicken. Now I like to drain my chicken before I put it in there. There we go, because I don't want any more water, but I'm going to leave it in the chunks. We'll drop it in there. All right. Give it a little stir. Break some of the bigger pieces up. There we go. Now we'll leave that to simmer for about another 10 minutes. Well, we've been simmering for about another 10 minutes after our chicken was put in. I've got some Thai jasmine rice here. Got a little sweet to it. Now we'll just take this. Oh yeah, looks good. Drop us a little bit on the top. And that's right there is going to be stick to your ribs. All right, now, how's that look? Does that look good? Well, like I said, I like to eat it with a little Thai jasmine rice. It gives a little sweet flavor. Now, you could put some sour cream on here to cut a little bit of the heat, possibly even some Greek yogurt and put in there. But what a great meal. It's using shelf-stable items that you have stored, hopefully, put back, freeze-dried and dehydrated. And it's a good way to utilize some of our prep food. Guys, I appreciate your time. I hope this is helpful. I hope you're enjoying these. Let me know. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you changed it up a little bit. If you've got some other ideas of what you'd like to see. But just leave a comment there. Don't forget now, you can go to thepreppingpreacher.com. I'll put it down here at the bottom. Join up with us, man. We've got a forum over there where you can talk to each other. Let's get a community going there. But guys, I love you. And until I see you again, I'm praying that God may richly bless you. You'll continue to stand in that gap. This is the Prepping Preacher, guys. I'm out of here.